What is Angular services? So let's say we have a components like login, logout, and sign up components. And if all these components are performing same common tasks like accessing the database and rendering the data on the view. So instead of writing the same common logic in each and every component, we can make use of Angular services. Okay, so this service can be implemented only once and it can be injected in all other components. So Angular services are reusable, which means we can share the data to all other components. So a service is a class which contains at the rate injectable decorator. So this decorator tells Angular that this class is a service and it can be injected in another components. So in Angular, services are singleton, which means only one instance of service is created and same instance will be shared to all the components. So services can be registered either in the components or modules using the provider section. So I will show example without Angular services now. So first I will go to the home component.ts file. So here I will create one method. Okay. And inside this I will use alert function to display a message on the browser. And I will call this function when we click on a button. So for that we will go to the home component. Here I will use click event handler. Okay. So here I will call a function. So in the same way I will use this logic inside the about component also. Okay. So this is the about component. So here I will use the same function and I will pass about component. Okay. So this is the about component message and I will call this method when we click on a button. So this is the button. Here I will use click event handler to display a message on the browser. Okay. So now I will go to the browser. See, this is the home component. I will click on a button. So we'll get a this is the home component message. Okay. So in the same way, I will go to the about component. So here I will click on a button. So here we will get this is the about component message. Okay. So here inside the home component and the about component, we are repeating the logic twice. Okay. So here show message is a method and inside this method, this is a line which we are repeating inside the home component and the about component. Okay. So here in real-time projects, we will have a hundreds and thousands of lines of code in the method. Okay. So we cannot repeat the same code twice in the components. So instead of this, we can make use of services. Okay. So first I will create a service. So here I will create one notification service. Okay. So here I will create a class and inside this I will create show message function. Okay. So here I will call alert function. Okay. So here str will be of type string. Okay. So now I will use this notification service in home component and the about component. Okay. So here first I will import that notification service and then here I will create an instance for the notification service. Okay. And then I will call show message method. Okay. So to this I will pass home as a keyword. So in the same way I will create an instance in the about component also. So here I will import the notification service and inside the method I will create an instance for the notification service. Okay. And then I will call show message function. So here I will pass about as a value. Okay. So now I will go to the browser. So this is your this is the about component. I will click on the button. See, we can able to see the pop-up. Okay. So in the same way I will go to the home component. I will click on the button. So we are getting the pop-up. Okay. So now instead of repeating the same code twice in the home component and the about component, now we are making use of this notification service in the about component and the home component. Okay. So now the problem is here we are explicitly creating a service instance. Okay. So that means this home component is tightly coupled with this notification service. So in the same way, so this is the about component, and this about component is also tightly coupled with this notification service because we have created a notification service explicitly by our own. Okay. So instead of creating this notification service by our own, Angular provides a new feature called dependency injection by which we can inject the dependencies. Okay. So now here I will remove this instance, and here I will use a constructor. Okay. So this is a constructor. Here I will use a variable. To this I will assign the notification service. Okay. And then here I will use this dot notify. Okay. So in the same way I will go to the home component. I will remove this and I will create a constructor. Okay. Here I will use this dot notify dot show message. Okay. So now the last step, we have to register this notification service either in the component or the app module. Okay. So here I will go to the app module. Here I will import the notification service first, and then I will use this inside the provider section. Okay. So after this I will go to the browser. See, this is the home component. Now I will click on a button. See, we can able to see the pop-up, right? So in the same way I will go to the about component. I will click on a button, so we can able to see the pop-up, right? What is dependency injection in Angular? Dependency injection is a technique in which class receives its dependencies from the external source instead of creating explicitly by your own. Okay. So here we use a constructor to inject the service dependency inside the component as a parameter, and using this we will tell Angular to create an instance for the service class. Okay. So using constructor we can inject the dependencies inside the component. So that we have done in the home component and the about component. So this is the home component, and here we use constructor to inject the dependencies. Okay. And we have registered the service inside the app module using the provider section. Okay. So we can do the same in the home component also. So here inside the metadata we can use providers, and to this we have to pass notification service. Okay. So here also we can register in the components, and also in the app module we can register the services. Okay. So this is all about the dependency injection in Angular. What is hierarchical injection in Angular? So if you provide a service on one component, then Angular will create and inject an instance of the service for that component and also to all the child components. Okay. Suppose if you provide a service to the app component, then it will inject the service dependencies to all the child components and their child components. Okay. So here if you register a service inside the app component, then the service instance will be injected inside the component B and also to the component D. Okay. So if you register a service inside this app model, then it will inject the service dependencies to all the components in the Angular. Okay. So dependency injection will work only in the downward direction, but not upward. Okay. So suppose if I register a service in the component C, then the service dependency will be available to the component E. Okay. But this service instance will not be available to the app component. Okay. So it will not go in upward direction. It will go only in the downward direction. Okay. And another point, if you register a service in the app model and also in the app component, then this app component will override the service instance which is created by this app module. Okay. So in the same way, if you register a service inside the app component and the component B, then this component B will override the service instance which is created by the app component. Okay. So suppose if you register a service inside this app module, so this is the app module, and here we have registered the service, right? And also if you register the service in the home component, so here if you register a service using this provider section, okay, then this home component will override the service instance which is created by this app module. Okay, so this is all about hierarchical injection in Angular. Okay, so how to inject one service into another service in Angular. Okay, so we can use injectable decorator in the service class. So first I will create a service. So this is the service folder. Inside I will create one service. Okay, log message dot service dot ts file. Okay, so here I will create a service. Okay, and inside this I will write one method. So this is a logger service. Okay. So now I will call this service inside the notification service. Okay, so here first I will import the service. So here first I will import the log message service, and then here I will create a constructor to inject the dependency for the log message service. Okay, and then I will use this variable called the log method. Okay, so this method will print the message in the console. So if you go to the browser, you will get an error. Okay, so the class notification cannot be created via dependency injection as it does not have any Angular decorator. Okay, so here we are calling the log message service inside the notification service, but we are getting an error. So to avoid this error, we have to make use of one decorator, that is nothing but a injectable decorator. Okay, so for the component, we have a component decorator and we have a metadata, right? And also for the app module, we have a ng module decorator and the metadata. So in the same way for service, we also have a decorator, that is nothing but a injectable decorator. Okay, so first we have to import that injectable decorator, and then we have to decorate this class with the injectable. Okay, so we are telling Angular that this class can be injected inside the any other components. Okay, so if we declare the class with injectable, then we are treating this class as a service, and this service can be injected in all other components. Okay, so now we will register this log message inside the app module. So I will go to the app module. So here I will register. Okay, I will use this inside the provider section. Okay, and inside the notification service we have used this injectable, and we are calling this log method. Okay, so now I will go to the browser. See, here it is working fine. Okay, so if you go to the console, I will click on this home button. See, here you can able to see this is a logger service. Okay, so in the same way I will go to the about component, and I will click on a button. I will open a console. Okay, now I will click on a button. See, you can able to see the message, and we can able to log a message in the console. Okay, so here we are injecting the one service inside the another service. Okay, so we have to use this injectable decorator inside the notification service, so that something can be injected inside this notification service. Okay, so here in this case we are injecting the log message service. Okay, so this is all about how to inject one service inside the another service. Okay, so here now I will show one example. So if you go to the app module, right here, so inside this app module I will remove this notification. Okay, so if you go to the browser, we are getting an error. Okay, so if you go to the console, so here inside the console we are getting this error, and we cannot able to see the components, right? So if I go to the about component, see, I cannot see the about component because we are getting the error. So if you go to the console, So this is the error we are getting because we have removed the register inside the provider section. Okay, so we can register either inside this provider section, inside this app module, or else we can directly register inside the notification service. Okay, so this is the notification service and this is the injectable, right? So to this we have a metadata called provided. Okay, so to this we have to pass root, and now we'll go to the browser. See, now we can able to see the home component. Okay, and in the same way I will navigate to the about component. See, I can able to see the about component. Okay, so here we can register the service either in the app module so that the service can be available globally, or else we can register the service inside the service itself using this provided in metadata. Okay, so if you register using this provided in metadata, then this service will be available to all the components. Okay, here the value should be root. Okay, so next, what is observable in Angular? So we use observable to perform asynchronous operation and to handle the asynchronous data. Okay, so we use promises in JavaScript to perform the same asynchronous data. So either we can use promises or observables to perform the asynchronous data in Angular. So we know that JavaScript is a single threaded programming language, which means code will be executed line by line. So once the execution of one line is completed, then it will go to the next line. Okay, so for example, if we are making HTTP request to the server, so it will take some time to process the request. So the next line after the HTTP request has to wait until the server processes the request. So to avoid this problem, we have to make use of asynchronous programming. So here we make HTTP request asynchronously, which will run in the background, and the next line will be executed immediately in the main thread. Okay, so this is nothing but an asynchronous programming. So what is difference between observable and a promise in Angular? So in case of observable, it will send the data to the client in chunks, which means if we have millions of records, then it will send the millions of records in chunks like 10,000 records each, and it will not wait for all the data to be available. Whereas promise will wait until the data is available, then the response will be sent to the client. Okay, so this promise will return the single data, whereas observable will return the multiple data. Okay, so observable will provide data if someone has to subscribe to the observable, whereas promise will always return the data even if no code is using the data. Okay, so if you want to fetch the data from this observable, we have to subscribe to this observable. Then only we can able to access the data, or else we cannot able to access the data. Okay, so this promise is a native to JavaScript language, whereas observable is not a native feature of the JavaScript or Angular. So it is a feature provided by another JS language, which is RxJS. Okay, so this RxJS package will be automatically installed when we create a new Angular project. Okay, so these are few differences between the observable and promises in Angular. So now I will show example for observable. Okay, so first I will go to the home component. So this is the home component. So here first I will import observable. Okay, so this is available in RxJS package. Okay, so here I will create a observable. Okay, here I will use new observable. So it accepts a callback function. Okay, so here callback function is a observable. So we is here. Okay, so this is nothing but a promise which will emit the data from the observer. Okay, so here I can use observer dot next. Okay, so next is a method using which we can fetch the data from the observer. So here I will use observer dot next of 2. Okay, in the same way I will use next method. So now in order to fetch this value from the observable, we have to subscribe to this observable. Okay, so first I will use ng on init method. So here I will import on init method, and then here I will implement on init method, and in here, and then here I will create ng on init method, and inside this I will subscribe to this observable. Okay, so this dot my observable dot subscribe. Okay, so This subscribe is a callback function which accepts three parameters. Okay, so one is error, another one is complete, and another one is next. Okay, so these are the three callback functions which will be accepted by the subscriber. Okay, so first parameter is the next. Okay, so here I will use console.log. Okay, it will fetch the value from the observable. So now I will go to the home component. Okay, so here I will navigate to the home component. So I will go to the console now. Inside the console, see, we can fetch the values from the observable. Okay, okay, 1 2 3, right? So this is the observable. Okay, so this is the observable, and we have subscribed to this observable using the subscribe method, and the subscribe method accepts the three optional parameters: next, error, and the complete. Okay, so first parameter is next, and next we have two parameters, that is error and the complete. So all the three parameters are optional. Okay, so what is error and complete callback functions in Angular? So second callback function in the observable is the error, which handles the error written by the observable. Okay, so now I will go to the home component. So here I will use set timeout. Okay, so this is the function that I will use, and here I will specify timeout as 1000 ms, that means 1 second. So after 1 second this data will be visible. Okay, so in the same way I will use it for another two. Okay, so I will remove this one. I will display value 2 after 2 seconds, and then I will display value 3 after the 3 seconds. Okay, so now I will go to the browser. I will refresh this once again. See here, 1 2 3, right? We can able to see the values after 1 second, 2 second, and third second. Okay, so now here I will explicitly throw a error message. Okay, so here I will use set timeout. So observer. So here you have to use no error. Here I will display a message. Okay, something went wrong in the observable. Okay, so I am displaying error message after the value 2, and then we have a value 3 after we are getting the error. Okay, so now I will go to the browser. See, here we are getting the error, something went wrong. Okay, but we are unable to see the value 3. That is because, so after the value second we are getting the error, so this observable will never return a value after we are getting a error. Okay, so here we can able to retrieve the value 1, here we can able to retrieve the value 2, and then after that we are getting an error. Okay, so after getting the error we cannot able to retrieve the value of 3 from the observable. Okay, so this is the error we are displaying in the console, right? So I want to display the same error message on the browser. So for that we have to make use of second callback function. Okay, so this is the first callback function, and now I will use second callback function, that is error, right? I will display that error on the browser. Okay, so if you go to the browser we can able to see the value 1 2, and then we are getting the error, something went wrong in the observable. Okay, so this is nothing but a error. So third callback function in the observable is complete. So as you know, observable will emit the values in the chunks. So if you want to make sure that the observable has emitted all the values, then we have to make use of complete callback function. Okay, so now I will show example for complete. Okay, so here I will remove this one. Okay, and now here I will use double dot complete. Okay, after 4000 seconds. So third callback function in the observable is complete. Okay, so we can send a message that we have emitted all the values from the observable. Okay, so this is the message that will be displayed after getting all the values from the observable. Okay, so now I will go to the browser. Okay, so now I will refresh this 1 2 3, and then we are getting the message. Okay, after we are getting all the values from the observable, we are getting this message. Okay, so we can say that we have entered all the values from the observable. Okay, so now here, instead of using 4000, I will use 1000. Okay, so now if you observe, see, after emitting a value of 1, we are getting the value. Okay, we have emitted all the values from the observable. That is because we have shown this complete message after the 1 second. Okay, so here it is ignoring all these values. Okay, so this complete method will not return the values after this complete method. Okay, so this is all about complete in observable. Okay, so what are different ways to create an observable in Angular? So first method is a create method by which we can create an observable. Okay, so now I will show example for create. Okay, so here I will remove this one. So here instead of using new observable, here I will use observable dot create method. Okay, so here observable will be type of any. Okay, so here we have to change the value of any. Okay, so after this I will go to the browser. 1 2 3. Okay, so here we are using a create method to create an observable in Angular. Okay, and next second method is by using the off operator. So here we can use off operator to create an observable. Okay, so so here I will create one array. Okay, so here I will comment this code. Okay, then here I will use, so in the same way I will use another one. So here I will display value in numbers. Okay, 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 so here I will use off operator. Okay, so this I will pass this dot array 1, this dot array 2. Okay, so here you have to import this operator. Okay, so after this I will go to the browser. See, I will refresh this page once again. See, here we can able to see this complete message pop up, and we can able to see the values. Okay, so here we are not calling this complete method explicitly. Okay, internally it is getting called by this off operator. Okay, so instead of off operator to create an observable, we can make use of another method that is nothing but a from. Okay, so here I will call this from, which accepts only a single parameter. So I will remove this one. Okay, and then I will import this from. So this is the operator which is in RxJS, and then I will go to the browser. Okay, see, now I will refresh this page once again. So here we can able to see the same pop-up. Okay, and now here we can able to see the values. Okay, so these are not in a list of arrays. Okay, but these are displaying in a different values. Okay, so in case of off operator we can able to see the values in array, but in case of from operator we cannot see the values in an array. Okay, so this is difference between from and off operator in RxJS. Okay, so these are the three ways by which we can create an observable in Angular. So by using create method, by using of method and by using from method we can create an observable in Angular. Okay,